I would read a verse from 1 Timothy 4:12. It's one of the verses that keep me going as I continue. Let no one despise your youth, but be an example to the believers in word, in conduct, in love, in spirit, in faith, and in purity. This is NKJV version. So when Paul was writing to Timothy, Timothy was already a young, thriving man, but who was in ministry, in kind of leadership, and so facing all the challenges that young people face. But Paul was on his side telling him, even in church, as you're leading, and we have who sometimes we are, can hear me, who we still are expected to lead, expected to show the way. So that was a challenge to Timothy, that even though he is young, starting out in ministry and leadership, but set an example to believers. Apparently, even believers need examples. You know, we have seen believers who have let the name of God down, but we are here to show that we are remnants, and even so we will be examples in our academics as we have this discussion, right? And moving forward, building into our workplaces. So I believe, Isaiah, we are good to go. We can have our presentation so that we can start off. As we have a long holiday this coming, in this Christmas season, our schools, I think, closed somewhere around, for those who are having KCSE exam, maybe in the mid-November, but a majority of us closed school end of October. So we have around 2 months plus into the next year. So even I understand the school calendar because we work for a scholarship program and we support high school students through high school. And so we have an idea of how the school calendar is rolling. So between then and January mid, because a majority of schools are opening, I think from mid of January, for months are reporting there, and then the rest, I think, before. What do you do in between this holiday? And then moving forward into your academics, what happens? So we can have that discussion moving forward. Isaiah, I think we have an hour to go, if I'm not... okay, so I'll try maintain that. Maybe have my presentation for a few minutes and then have an open forum after. If you're good to go, you can let me know. Thank you for those who shared their expectations. We shall have a good time to learn together and support one another. Yeah. Thank you. Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me, Ox Mentorship Network. I understand it's a platform where high schoolers are mentored and given support as they journey through their high school years, a season of a lot of transition and self-awareness. So you're doing a commendable job. I look forward to future partnerships. Today we are discussing planning my academic journey and how to go about it in our current era. There's a lot of technology, a lot of information at our disposal. Even the education system is changing, and the marketplace might not be the same as it was last year moving forward. So let's have that discussion. Next slide, kindly. Thank you. So part of what we'll be discussing today is just an introduction. We look at literacy levels in the globe compared to Kenya and Africa. And then, is there a reason why we should actually study and put effort in our academics? Primary goals of this discussion We look at areas of growth, we look at steps in planning our academic journey or tools you can use as you continue through your journey in high school, and then gaps in between holidays, what you can do in between the holidays, in between the period when you're not in school, and even in the future, you look into job placement and so how to go about it, including online presence. And there are some of us who may not necessarily work in the office. So what about business and all that? Yeah. So why do we need to study? Why do we need to study? Maybe I can hear two people why they're actually in school. Or if you are blessed to have someone to look after, either your children or your nieces or your nephews. Why you in school? Thank you very much, Shelmy. Someone else? One more person. Why will you encourage academics? And there's a neighbor who is, I think, watching a movie in case you hear some music or noise in the background. One more person, why would you encourage someone to study, or why are you in school actually? One, and then moving forward to, in the previous days it was standard 1, 2, 3 all the way to 8. Nowadays it's grade 1 to 8, and then we'll have year 1 to year 6, and then you'll go to high school, which a majority of us are in, and then currently we have the junior secondary, and then you'll go to senior secondary, and then after you go into the tertiary level, so those who go into colleges, those who go into universities, those who go into polytechnics and the TVETs. So we have like MTC, we have like polytechnics, we have the teachers training colleges, some go to universities. So, and then advance from there. Maybe you have your certificate, then advance to diploma, from diploma advance to degrees, masters, and then PhD. Right now, it stands at PhD. I'm not sure if there's an additional level after PhD, but we all know that is the highest. So that from when you're young to the time you have a PhD, a majority of us fall in that bracket. Not all of us might want to go all the way to PhD. Some of us will still want to go all the way. So that is someone's academic journey. The endeavor to gain knowledge in the formal setup of learning. That is an academic journey. And then in Africa, at least 67% of our population, 15 years and above, are able to read and write. At least that is from last year's statistics. And South Africa was the leading with an 80% literacy level. Kenya, we are still, trying to manage and find our way around it. But we hope in the coming years that will be our statistics. So you can imagine in globally right now we are around 7.8 or 8 billion, and around, I will say, 90% of male is literate. So globally, that is the statistic. 90% of male are literate, while 88% of female are literate. So ladies, you still need to put some effort. That is at least according to the data 2 years ago or more. We still need to do something around it. And there's actually a country that is 100% literate. It should be in North America, where everyone knows how to read and write. So that means their level of education is advanced. They have good infrastructure in terms of their school system, payment method, kindergarten, right from a young age. And therefore, it means also their workspace is very refined and efficient. We will get there, I believe, at some point. So why do you need to study? Because as some of us, we have said, to grow academically and have a good future, which is true. And then be book smart, because it's needed. As much as we have, you can be knowledgeable about cooking, you can be knowledgeable about taking care of a child, like because you're babysitting a niece or you're babysitting the young ones in Sunday school. You still need to be book smart. It's very important. It's very relevant, because imagine you're supposed to go to Form 3 or Form 4 or Form 2. You need to be well conversant with the content in Form 1 so that you can advance moving forward. You need to be sharp. It's very attractive when someone is academically brilliant. There are so many opportunities that open up to you, so many scholarships that come your way. People want to fund you. People want to support your journey because they have seen you have good, clean grades, and that is very attractive. You need to grow academically as well. Because you grow in other areas. You can grow physically, you can grow spiritually, but then when it comes to books, you're not growing. So we study so that we can grow as a result. And I will also encourage us to have a culture of reading, that you don't only read because you have exams, but read because you want to study. For those who like to know about spirituality, read the Bible. Those who want to know about leadership, you have leadership books. Those who want to learn about money, you learn and read about money from financial books. So you grow academically and you become a book smart. Another thing why you need to study is for you to have informative conversations and be relevant in what you're saying. Imagine we are having a conversation here and all you can say is wow, 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 wow. Iti wa sautado. You've seen those memes going around that, there's nothing else you're adding to a conversation. Ni tu wa sautado ama wa niliona ngori. It's not relevant. You're not adding anything to this conversation. Have you been somewhere where people are discussing? Let's say we have a discussion about the current taxes in Kenya. How many of us have an idea how people are taxed? How many of us understand Kenya's taxing system? How many of us understand, let's say, Europe way of taxing? We don't know. So if you have those discussions and you're not aware, because maybe you're not reading or you're not even listening to news, you're not studying your Kenyan system, all you can do is just keep quiet, which is not very good, not very informative to other people. And then, you don't add something to the conversation. But when you study, when you understand that, you have an informative conversation and you remain relevant when you're discussing. And even people get to know, actually Lynette knows a lot about many things. And so the goal is actually not to know everything, but just know something about everything. Don't know everything about everything, just know something about everything. So that when we're discussing recipes, you're in. When we're discussing culture, you're in. When we're discussing sports and money, you're in. So that, it becomes a good conversation. It's also a basis for further studies. You cannot do a degree if you don't have a diploma. At least you start from somewhere. You cannot go to class 8 when you've not done class 6. So you study so that it can be a basic foundation for further studies, certification for career and business services. So as you have that, as you study moving forward, for those who are going into, for example, nursing, you will require to do maybe a diploma in community nursing. So that means you will be a certified nurse because you have gone to school for that. So that is why we study, to gain certification for career and business plus services. So those who are in business will want to do something in accounting so that understand how to do records, and even when you're giving someone an accounting service, they are happy. Yes, we move on. Hindrances to academic growth, some are internal and some are external. So internal, in high school, you're very busy. So this is busyness as opposed to productivity. So you're always around activity instead of results. So you're so much involved. Ni wewe uko Science Congress Club, ni wewe uko CU, ni wewe bado uko wapi sports, ni wewe bado captain wa dom, ni wewe bado you're the noisemaker. You're just very busy. You're not even productive. You want to be in every activity instead of result oriented. Supposing you're in books and then you add an additional club and one game. Let's say you're in basketball and then you have a club journalism. You'd want to link this to your interest as being busy. So productivity means I am in school. I am in Form 2. So what do I need to do? I need to focus on the books because first I am a student even before I am a leader. I'm a student even before I'm a CU chairperson. I'm a student even before I am a basketballer. I'm a basketballer because I am in that school. And why I came to that school is because I need to study. So we need to be result oriented. What do I want to get out of this club? If it's journalism, do I want to refine my interest in public speaking, in writing, in printing, in, a spoken word? Or do I just want to go and hang out and chill with the cool guys and cool men and boys that we meet in the other schools? So you want to also understand why you're in these clubs and games. And then the other thing is add an additional game. Remember, you want to be holistic. So this means an internal motivation. You would want to have that. You want to be productive, not just busy. And remember, even as you have all these other roles, you need to be book smart. So that means your grades should not drop because you're the prayer warrior and you're leading prayers in CU, or you're really leading prayers in the YCS club, or if there was a Muslim here, or in the Islam club. No, you want to be productive. And then misunderstanding of your vision and plan. Some of us don't even know we want to be in the field of science, or do you want to be in the field of maths, or in the field of creativity. So when you're not in that understanding, for instance, I'm in psychology, so that meant I needed to be good in sciences, I needed to be good in maths, because there's a lot of statistics around psychology and getting the data. So if I don't understand this, and it comes from an internal, because Promise, for example, I'll just use random name. Promise knows best if she wants to be in music. So in the music industry, she wants to be an artist or she wants to be a singer. So that means you will not confuse that with Faith, who wants to be, for example, in cutlery or in the cooking space, in the catering space. So, misunderstanding your vision and plan. How many of us actually know where they really want to be in the next 7 years? So you have that mapped out so that when you want to join a club, or when you want to hang out, or when you want to really read about something, you even reading relevant, content. For example, if I want to be in the creative space, I will put more of my attention into the subjects that build up to this. If I want to be in the health industry, I will put more emphasis on that. So this is an internal, identity crisis and comparison. We don't know our interest. We don't know our passion. We don't know, even in the current era, it's still, gender identity crisis, all that confusion, and it's internal. This is not something imposed on you by social media or your parents or your family. This is something internally. So that can be a hindrance to academic growth because you don't focus. So you have an A or an A minus or whichever grade it's actually yours, and you get to channel your path out of it. Onto the external hindrances. One is funding. So sometimes it could be you're struggling with school fee, you're struggling with even upkeep. Some of us struggle to even have toothpaste in school. These are real problems, and some of us also went through them. We are grateful for schools that hate the welfare kitty. So sometimes, you just go there, get an extra pen, get an extra soap in the welfare kitty, and you move on. Another could be committing to extra tasks. So, for example, you're requested to be a leader, you say yes. You're requested to be a CU leader, you say yes. Requested to be the games captain, you say yes. All these additional tasks that they may not necessarily be good, but they are not right for you. So they limit your academic growth. And then poor peer mentorship and senior mentorship. If you have friends around you who support you with academics, that will be really important, especially in this period of December where we have some long break. If you have a group that can support you in between now and the time you go to school, that would be good. So peer mentorship means people, of course, of the same age, people who resonate with our goals and where we want to be. For example, you want to score, I don't know, a B plus in biology, and your friend is saying, wow, me hata na struggle na biology. Undaka B plus, eka C plus. That is wrong mentorship across the same age. So having the right peer mentorship would be good. There was a student actually when we were in Form 3 and we were studying chemistry moles. Yeah. I think they were in Form 1 or something happened. But I hear the story is that Form 1 went to the Form 3 class and told them, I hear there's a topic called moles. There's a topic called metals. It's hard. And she's in Form 1. She's already started, having that poor mentality and attitude that Form 3 chemistry ni ngumu. So you see, she was listening to the voices that were not encouraging. And then senior mentorship. If you are in Form 1, do you have someone who is ahead of you so they can help you tackle those challenges in Form 1 from a more stronger angle? That would be good. That would be important. But even looking forward into the 7 years plan, 10 years, 11 years plan, you want to be an artist. Do you have someone in that journey who can already share advice and possibly even allow you? Limited exposure or information overload. Sometimes in this era, we are online a majority of the time. We have 24 hours, but then we get that around 5 hours we spend it online. And then around 8 hours we sleep. And then 8 hours we study. So that's already around 21. Few of us maybe take an hour to pray and even study the word. So you see the 5 hours have gone into the wrong attention. And then, or sometimes you also have limited exposure. For example, we don't understand what's going on in the workplace right now. So if one of you wanted to be an engineer, do you know what engineers are facing currently in that industry? Do you know what skills they actually need apart from a degree course? Do you know how it's looking like, especially with technology? Is engineering the same you imagined last year? Is it the same this year? Limited exposure. If you want to be a cook, what is the tourism industry looking like in Kenya? Find out about that. So hindrances to academic growth, these are some of them. I'm sure we have an idea of more others, but these are the basic ones that I managed to capture. Information overload. So we are so much online. We have a lot of information, but it's not adding value to the stage we are in right now, which is a discipline that I myself need to cultivate. It's not necessary to be online 100%. You can actually be online, but if I'm in, for example, the field of psychology, do I have sites or do I check such content online? If I go to IG, is it that I'm just checking on the reels or I have something going on that is adding value? Next, kindly. Yes. Richard Brandson says opportunities are like buses. There's always another one coming. But sometimes opportunities pass us because we are not prepared. I was in a forum somewhere where we were saying luck, as the world would call it, luck. Luck is when opportunity meets preparation. So for example, you're done with Form 4, you have the grade called, let me choose a random grade, a C minus. And then there's a scholarship coming. The scholarship needs people to have C and above. So luck at this point is you miss out on the opportunity because as I was saying, luck means opportunity has met preparation. And the opportunity is the scholarship. Preparation is the grade. And then you get to miss it. As much as opportunities are like buses, there's always another one coming. You need to be prepared for these opportunities. So as Richard Branson was saying, opportunities are like buses. One will skip you, but then you cannot just allow opportunities miss you. One could be the scholarship, but the other could be someone who wants to, for example, pay for your fee in campus. And let's say the campus cutoff point is right now is at C plus, and then you have scored a C. And there's someone who is willing to support you. It could be your uncle, it could be your relative, it could be a scholarship program like what we do, it could be even help, but then you miss out on that because one, you missed out on the opportunity for the scholarship, and then now you're missing out on someone paying your fee. You see, these are opportunities that are coming, and there are so many. Let me not lie to you, there are so many opportunities out here. A lot of opportunities that may not come from your relatives, actually from very many other organizations that are outside here supporting, especially with an angle of this eye of developing supporting the developing countries like Kenya. In Africa, majority of our countries are actually developing. We're in the third world sector still. And so as much as there's always another one coming, how prepared are you for this? So some of the tools you can use to prepare in your studies could be a timetable, which a majority of us are familiar with. And it helps with time management. It helps us to focus on the weak areas. So if you're really good in maths, you don't need to have maths. 80% of your timetable is occupied with maths because you enjoy it. Focus on other things that are not your areas of strength yet. So if you're struggling, for example, in business, have a portion of business every day. You're studying brief, even twice a day. Even especially now this holiday. And then groups. The tools that you can have in this setup is you have discussions, of course, with people who may not necessarily be in the same school because you're on holiday, but who understand the subjects you're discussing. Past papers, of course, reference books like I think there used to be Text It and Fix It, Q&A, past papers, that. And then what does it allow you to do? Exchange reading. So someone from school X and someone from school Y, because I'm assuming you're at home, you may not be in the same village together, coming from the same school. So you have that exchange, and then you have a rich support. Someone could be good in maths, and then you're good in business, and you support one another in that. So groups help a lot. MBTI, personality test. Now this one is new to a majority of you, I assume. This is a test. Let me just share it here. You can click once you want to do it. So what this does, this is a personality test. Do you know what a personality is? Someone has an idea what their personality is? You can save that, click it, and then have a look at it in your own time. I have shared it on the chat. So this is called a Myers-Briggs test indicator. So what it helps you to do, it just makes you realize who you are. I'm sure you've heard of the word, this is an introvert, that is an extrovert. This one likes to spend time alone, that one likes to hang out with friends. Such kind of things. It allows you to understand yourself, so become self-aware, you become emotionally intelligent, It helps you to improve your relationships, so with your teachers or with your schoolmates or with your parents at home. And so how will this help you with your academic growth? You're able to understand, I like spending time alone. So if I like spending time alone, then that means I can focus more to thrive in groups. So in groups, if I don't have that ability to, understand so many things where they are public, there are so many people, then that means I can focus more on my personal studies. So you see some people who will read until somewhere 12 in the midnight and then wake up maybe around 4:30 a.m. because that is how they know best they can gain academic growth, because they know. And these are basics that you already know. What this test will help you do is just to advance the knowledge. So kama najua mimi si thrive for groups, then I focus more on that individual time. For example, this will make me know I am an extrovert. So that means I really gain a lot of knowledge and understand concepts when you're discussing in groups. So group your math, group your business. And this is individual based. There's no way you can compare to someone, because anyway you shouldn't. And anyway that is how we are. We are very different, and that was how it was meant to be, that we're different. So some of these are some of the tools that can help you in planning your academic journey. So into 2024, these are some of the tools you can borrow. A timetable, you have the discussions, you have these tests, and the tests you can use right now to help you understand how this is going. Yeah. The next, I'd like to finish this, I think, at 40 or 45. And then moving on into maybe after you're done with Form 4 and you're looking into college and after college. Job placement and online presence. Not all of us will go into being an artist. Not all of us will go into being, for example, a preacher. Not all of us will be pastors. Not all of us will be people in the office like bankers or officers. Some of us might actually venture into entrepreneurship. So you might be cooks. Some might be footballers. Remember me saying when you're in high school, be holistic. So join games and clubs. Someone like Eliud Kipchoge, they have papers, but then that is on the side. They're really earning from their skill, and they're bringing Kenya a lot of victory from that. So understanding yourself as well adds on to this, and it also allows you to understand your academic growth more. So if I am into cooking, further into the years, maybe now I can start with home science because I'm in high school, but then moving on, how do I refine that skill? So one, you need to be online, and online means your content, whatever you're putting online, is something that when a future employer wants to look at, they will actually validate and easily employ you or recommend you or refer you to someone. IG, a majority of us are familiar with IG, Facebook, and TikTok. I think so. I'm not sure if there's anyone who doesn't understand this. There's one called LinkedIn. LinkedIn is purely for professional work and jobs. If you have a phone, which I'm sure we have because you're here, just Google LinkedIn and I'll be happy to connect with you. Just send me a message that, hi, we met at Ox Mentorship Network. My name is Victor, or my name is Faith, and I'll be happy to link with you. So how does your online presence look like? I know we have challenges going on TikTok. We have, IG, a lot of life experience and lifestyle we post there when we are either on holidays or right now we are eating and drinking and having a good time with family. So we tend to post that. That's okay. Just be sure whatever you're doing online and whatever you're posting online is still won't limit you when someone is looking to employ you or to recommend you. If I am a good cook, how will someone know if they have not seen even photos of the food I cook or even dishes of the places I have taken to food? Right now we have this holiday, we have birthdays. So if you're good in baking, can you take that to maybe a birthday party and then take photos, put them online? I'm sure that is not strange. So all of us do that. But I would recommend, if you're online and you're not doing anything around it, this also starts. You remember when I was saying an internal way of limiting, some of the things that limit you internally is not understanding your path or confusing your path for someone else's. So this is where now I'm challenging you to start going into 2024. Look into the long-term plan and start working around it. If you're a good footballer, show us some of the skills, put them on TikTok, show us some of the dribbling. I think it's dribbling, some of the scores and the tricks people do in the field. Put them on IG so that we can see. And these skills actually earn you an extra income. So what are some of the things you can do in between the year and the holidays? Right now you have a long holiday and you may not necessarily be on the books throughout studying biology from November to January. Volunteer, a church, an office, maybe even the county offices. Go there, look for something to do. For example, just help them with the files, help them with very simple tasks. For example, just putting data into Word or from Excel, doing the maths for finances. Of course, they will limit you depending on sensitivity of the information there, but just go and find something to do. Tell them, I'm so and so, I'm from this school and I have a free time, maybe on Friday evenings. If you need help, I want to support. Of course, the better if it's in line with where you want to be. If you want to be a pediatrician and there's a clinic nearby, go and volunteer, go and gain skills, work with the nurses there, understand the basics of how to work with moms or young moms or new moms or young kids and toddlers and infants. Look around that. Internship, this is especially when you're in campus and you need to like job train for the place you're in. For example, teachers do teaching practice, and you have seen, I'm sure, university students come to your schools for a period of either 2 months or 4 months or 3, and they intern. So that is called teaching practice. Just going in your field and practically doing it. If you can do that right now, the better. Short courses. Do computer, but I know computer is a class, things a subject in high school. If you want to do the advanced levels, go ahead and do that. The short courses in between right now. Study driving, there's nothing wrong with that. First aid, those are short courses. Swimming, those are short courses. Improve yourself even as you prepare. So into 2024, I'd like to challenge you to have this extra knowledge or extra certification or extra life skills actually as certified. I would like to challenge you to do that. Short courses, driving, computer, first aid, skills, cooking, have all of them if you can. Again, if you can, depending on time management and the funds and your school calendar. Charity events, you have an orphanage around, go and learn the basic skills of just supporting someone who is an orphan, just supporting these projects at home. What goes into it? Who started this organization? Why do they do it? If you have an interest in working with people who are suffering addiction, so you want to understand, why would people even end up in addiction? Someone who is sober right now, why in this economy, why would you use drugs? Understanding all those things. There are rehab centers, there are hospitals that support people out of addiction, like alcohol and substance abuse. Go there. Charity events, yeah. If you have a church event and you like to volunteer even to coordinate those activities. You have a weekend challenge, coordinate, make sure you write those letters to the different churches, write those letters to different organizations. There are some skills you gain out of that, and you will build that up moving forward into academic journey. Mentorship meetings, something like this. If you have a friend, invite them to search forums because they will be able to get an idea or two on how to be productive in the academic journey. And then therapy and development. Therapy is available in Kenya. There are actually people who do free therapy. So therapy is just psycho-emotional support for you. And you may not necessarily have gone through a tough time for you to get therapy. Actually, you go for therapy because you're okay. and you want to just be better. There's a saying that says the best becomes better. So you don't have necessarily to have gone through maybe a surgery or abuse for you to go for therapy. You just go at time because you want to be better and to be okay. The counseling centers in schools, I'm sure we have GNC. Go there and sit with this nurse. Just tell them what are some of the challenges that we make because of the cases you have had from this school. How can I avoid them? Such things. There are other development programs like male development programs, which maybe are in your schools or in your churches. Go for them in this holiday. Female development, value-based programs. Recently, I just did a course in. I did two. So one is called Driven Entrepreneurship. How the gospel, because I'm a believer, how the gospel allows you to bring real-time solutions to the current problems in Kenya. So, for example, there's an issue of leadership in Kenya, a lot of corruption, a lot of nepotism. Like right now, we're actually facing a corruption issue in Vihiga County. I'm not sure if all of you know, but there's a crisis in that county because of corruption. So if I want to be a Christian, a practical Christian, so how do I allow this to be a real, solution? And I'm going to offer a few pieces of advice there. Do that. So I did a faith-driven entrepreneur, just how the gospel shapes your ability to create and provide solutions. And then I did another one called EZER, EZER. It's a female version. I think Man Enough. So it's a female version of Man Enough, just allowing you to be a better female. You graduate, you get a certificate, and these are not necessarily be needed at work. It's just me who needed to build myself and know myself up. So during these holidays, or even when you're done with Form 4 and you're waiting to join college or find a placement in the next level you're going to, what do you do in between? The next, I think, should be the second last or the final. Yeah, this is the summary. So academics is very central, relevant, and significant in developing any society. Because if in my family we are two girls, if all of us are learned, then that means that family is advanced, is a step ahead. And then there's another family in my neighborhood. If they're learned, then that village becomes advanced, and then that community becomes advanced and more exposed. So you see, this society goes a level higher because there are people who are learning. And I'm assuming, though that is not the narrative, when you learn and go abroad, you need to come back so that you build your society, so that you build your people. I think there's more value when you grow together as opposed that you grow and then now start supporting from wherever you are, because you'll have a lot of people to support. But if you come back, equip them and allow them to thrive, then the society becomes a whole lot better. Develop a culture of reading outside schoolwork. As I've said, have other books that you read. If you're interested in finances, if you're interested in traveling, if you're interested in politics, leadership, if you're interested in finance, as I've said, just have that culture. Enhance your general well-being to allow a fresh mind. Exercise, hydrate, watch debates online. There are actually a lot of TV programs that support debates. So that means it improves your culture of communication and even providing solutions, exchanging. So right now, if I have a forum, for example, I'm speaking to people about leadership, how many of you would want, those who are interested in leadership, would want to come and speak in that forum? You would want, but is it something you're constantly building up? You're listening to in this holiday, research someone about leadership if you have a good person you're listening to. For example, this is just an example. If you like, give me one person who is a public figure in leadership that you like. Anyone? As we wrap this up. Anyone? Or do I choose someone? Let me see. William, who is your current leadership icon in Kenya? If you can chat, it's okay. You can chat it. William, are you here? Is William here? Or anyone who'd like to say who their leadership icon is in Kenya? It could be someone we don't know, so not necessarily someone in the public space. Anyone? Okay. I would say mine. One is John Allan Namu, and I've been telling my mom I'd want to meet John Allan Namu. John Allan Namu is an investigative journalist. So previously, he used to have a program called Jicho Pevu together with Mohammed Ali. Mohammed Ali is the current MP of Nyali constituency in Mombasa County. Bishop Dr. David Oginde, Bishop Emeritus of Sitam Valley Road. We were with him a few weeks ago. Such a good man, and he won one of the awards in Kenya Christians Professions Forum. Mtumishi Bora Awards. He's actually a really good. The current chair of EACC, I assume. Yes. So I think that was Isaiah. So Isaiah, this is a challenge, and also let me just share it to everyone here. Have you even yesterday looked at what he has done, where he was? Any remarks he has posted online or anything he has done in the community, because this is someone we're looking up to. I like John Allan Namu runs a program on Maisha Magic called The Last Door, and The Last Door means the last, maybe the opportunity that people who have gone through very serious issues are looking for justice on, and they have not found in the government. So he is going to sit down with them, ask them about the issues, ask them about the cases, and he's actually following up on the culprits, the last door, meaning every other thing has been sought after, approached. People have gone to the police, people have gone to the government, people have gone to their chiefs, but there's no justice that has been found. So he comes in to engage them on a new level. He's not in government. He's just an investigative journalist. So recently we were looking at a case of someone who is suspected to have been involved in killing the brother and selling the property. So the children have been looking for justice to no avail. So he is actually coming and sitting down with these children. They're actually grown up in their 30s and 40s. And then he's actually now going after the perpetrator to look for him and sit down and ask him questions. Very risky, but I am excited. I'm actually looking forward into 2024. I would want to meet him. So are you looking up to that? Yeah, very important. Look at these things, look up into your icons and just see what they're doing. The last thing would be network, where you are. If you can go to forums, I think that should be the last slide, Isaiah. Go to forums, meet people, engage with them, talk to them, have them understand. I have written a book, so I look up to other mentors who have written books. What do they think about selling them? How are they selling them? Strategies around distribution. Go to those forums, engage them. And you never know. Never know. You can actually get mentor out of that, someone who will support you walk your journey, someone who can pay your fee as your donor, as your sponsor. You can even meet your spouse. You never know. So I'd like to call it a wrap at this point. Maybe pick a few questions, and appreciate you for being here with me. Thank you.